mean, could you imagine having some creepy little girl's voice in your head? That'd be...
Please, I don't want to go. Please help me.
Please tell me you hear that. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. So glad to see you all once again. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. This is the show that I think you might have been looking for if you want to go back to the 80s and 90s and talk about episodes that we grew up on of shows that we enjoyed as kids and look at them through the perspective of being an adult. And right now we're talking about Batman Beyond. So if this sounds like something you might enjoy, then hop below, hit the like button, and then hit the subscribe button because I think you're going to enjoy what you're about to see as we talk about Mind Games, which originally aired on December 4th, 1999. Here we go.
We can take it from here.
This is kind of a neat episode. It deals with kind of telepathy, mind control sorts of ideas, and it has a great little mystery in there. And we get to see a little bit of the softer side of Terry. But we'll talk all about that right after our 60-second Beyond Bomb rundown of the episode. And actually, I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been doing pretty good. Batman is out on patrol and he sees his family almost get in a car wreck and everything's okay. But the little girl kind of looks at him, and then next day he's in class trying to take a test and he sees the little girl come in and go, "Hey, come save me, save me, save me." And then later he's talking to Batman, and nobody else saw her, by the way. And he's talking to Batman and she appears in the Batcave, but he can't see her. And he goes, "What's going on? Who are you? What are you trying to tell me?" And she goes and lets him see where she's at, but she's being held captive in this house, and we thought were her parents, apparently are not. And so he starts trying to investigate and figure this out a little bit more, and he learns that she came up missing and she wasn't able to be found. And so he goes talks to her real parents, and they give her a Teletubby, and they go, "Hey, this is we tried to get a hold of her and we couldn't." And so then he's trying to talk to her, and he goes, "Tell me where you're at." And she shows him the port of a ship, and he goes, "Oh, okay, I see what's going on." And so he tries to go to the ship to save her, and they fight and they duel and all this, and he gets her out and saves her and takes her to another place. She has a new family. Oh, yeah. I think after 3 years, I'm finally getting the hang of it.
Please help me.
What?
I think it's kind of a fun little... I think the opening of this episode is kind of fun, where Batman's on patrol, and while he's doing that, he's also studying over the phone with Max on some tests that they have come up, which is further even funnier because it's now in the future, and it must be for a history class, and they're talking about presidents, and they run through the presidents, and up to that point, I think it was all the presidents that were in office, and they were still trying to think of the other names. That was really confusing, but you get what I'm saying.
Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton.
But I thought it was a fun little way into the episode, and those kind of moments that illustrate that they are in high school and they are younger, I don't mind that. I don't mind that so much as I do with the episodes that are like hardcore, all about being in high school.
Come on. Clinton was the fun one, then came the boring one.
Then he comes across this family, which I feel like just stole their design from Luke Skywalker, Morticia, and Wednesday.
Thank you for your help.
But it's sort of a weird way into the story where he just sort of randomly comes across these people, and the daughter kind of makes eye contact with him as Batman, and then later on she is trying to connect with him, Terry, but I guess maybe she picked up the brainwaves, but it just felt like kind of a weird way to get into this episode.
Gotta go, Max.
And just sort of a really trippy little girl to come into the classroom, and he's seeing her, and she's floating through the air, and nobody else can see her, and she just keeps repeating the same thing over and over again. Is a little creepy, but at the same time, I thought set up a great mystery. Here's this person that Terry Batman ran across earlier, and now she's visiting him at school and trying to communicate with him, trying to get through to him. And so it raises the question, okay, well, is Terry going crazy, or is this little girl have superpowers, or what's going on? And that sort of mystery is one of those elements I really enjoy in Batman episodes.
Mr. McGinnis, what don't you understand?
And here we have another story dealing with missing children, which I thought is interesting, that I feel like that keeps coming up in some of these episodes with Batman Beyond. And this one we directly meet with the parents and see their reaction to this missing child, which is interesting because, I mean, that's a kind of a heavy topic to be dealing with Terry as a teenager and helping find missing children. But I know that even came up a few times in Batman the Animated Series.
Can't believe all these kids are missing.
And I don't know if it was deliberate or if it was supposed to, but so this kid's favorite toy is a Teletubby?
Poogly!
Is that an actual Teletubby, or is that they have rights to that, or is that just something that looks similar to one? But it kind of plays a crucial role in this episode.
Right after they took her, Joyce realized that she forgot to pack her favorite toy.
I do like the moments where we get to see, like in this episode, Bruce and Terry each kind of doing their part. They each kind of have a job to do. And again, maybe it's coming from a place of just really enjoying Bruce Wayne and wanting to see him more active or taking a role in Batman. But I do think that him being the original Batman just adds into that flavor of him having some duty to perform in this and helping Terry be the best Batman that he can be.
It's mind over matter.
I hate it when you blitz me like that.
And I do have to say, as an adult, I really enjoyed the scene where he goes into that school and finds that old man sitting there meditating and then him attacking him in the mind. I mean, like, really kind of wild stuff. But wow, would that be frightening as a kid to watch that? And I don't often give this compliment to the show, but I really enjoyed the art direction in this episode. The look of it and the way that they did the fight scenes and that. This episode felt very much more in line with the old show in that just every detail was really paid attention to and not missed and not skipped over, but really putting a lot of attention and detail into, rather than just having a fight and Terry duking it out with somebody, but they really kind of designed it well and put it in interesting areas and interesting scenery and landscape versus just, oh, here they are in another boring old place. That, again, is something that I always enjoyed about Batman, is just that extra design level. You know, we don't watch Batman or any superhero show, I don't think, because it's realistic, because looks like it could be right next door. We watch it because it is a bit of a fantasy. It is a bit of a step out of reality. And especially when you're designing it as a cartoon, it should be. And here's a cartoon that takes place in the future. So it really gives the opportunity to have different locales and different spaces and different ways of doing those things. And I really felt like this episode took advantage of that.
Is there anything you see that can help me? Like the name of the boat? Anything?
And they're also developing the story with Max. And I'm really enjoying what they're doing with Max and how they're utilizing her in the story. And it's really setting up opportunities for her to play a bigger role in the future. And certainly they kind of had a nice little undercover moment where she went with Terry to this hotel.
This is on the boss man.
And Max says it. The one thing about this episode is, did the little girl really need Batman to help save her? She kind of saved him, and Max called it. Again, I like that dynamic where Max has a relationship with Terry to be able to say those things to him that, like, yeah, I'm not sure. I think the little girl saved you versus you saving the little girl.
Ghost Girl ends up saving your butt.
So when it comes time to rank this episode, it's pretty fun. I really like the setup of this episode. I like the characters that they bring into this. I love the mystery that's kind of wrapped around all of this. So it has a lot of good things going for it. So for all those reasons, I have it falling at the number 10 spot of my favorite episodes so far. Just below Lost Soul, which again is ironically a very similar episode where it's kind of a disembodied disembodied mind that is taking over somebody else and trying to manipulate the suit and that. And then in this one where this little girl has this mind control, not mind control, but mind telepathy to be able to communicate with Terry and trying to give him enough information to come and save her. But again, as far as like a sci-fi element, I like what they did in Lost Soul a little bit better than in this one. But I do have this one beating out Shriek because Shriek is a good episode and is a strong villain, but it's kind of just ends there, where it's just sort of your typical supervillain facing off against Batman because he has some motive and something that he wants to accomplish, which is all fun and games, and that's good. Whereas this one has a little bit more twisty kind of plots and dig into some deeper issues in this one.
Tell the captain I want to leave now. No more delays.
So let me know, what are your thoughts? Was that an actual Teletubby in this episode, or was that just a knockoff one that was really close? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the like button. If you want to see more episodes like this, just hit subscribe because I have new episodes coming out every week. But if you can't wait till then, you can click on one of the episodes over here to see more reviews by me on other DC animated shows. But be sure to check back because next up I'm going to be talking about the episode Revenant. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Andy Knode, and I'll see you soon.